Hey, my name is Ryan, and I've been leading worship for the past 20 years or so, and I've wanted to make a YouTube channel called Worship Team Tune-Up that would just have resources for different members of the worship team to go to and learn from and better their musicianship and better their worship leading. So I want to start off with keys because most people that I know that have stepped into playing keys on worship, there's just been a pattern of questions, and the question that I get often the most is, how do I make my piano playing sound more advanced? Or in other words, how do I go from just playing these block chords in triad root position to something that sounds a little more than basic? So that's a common question because most people learn chords when they start on the worship team, and they first learn them in triad, in root position. And it doesn't sound great. The reason it doesn't sound great is because there's so much space between the chords. We start on this G chord, we're in the key of G, and we go to a 5 chord, a D chord. There's so much space in between that our ear doesn't sense that as a smooth transition from one chord to the next. So what I want to teach you about today are inversions. Inversions of a chord are the same 3 notes, but in a different order. So we have root position, G, B, D. When we go to first inversion, we're going to move that root to the top of the chord and keep the other 2, the 3rd and the 5th. So we have B, D, G. Still the same 3 notes, just a different order. And then we have a second inversion, which would move this 3rd up to the top. And so we can use these inversions to find chord movements that are smoother than this. So let's think of the song Worthy of It All in the key of G. We're going to go from G to a D chord. So from here, excuse my allergies right now. So from this G chord, instead of playing in root position, we're going to play in that second inversion position, G, B, D. And from here, we can easily go down to a 5 chord just by moving these 2 notes down to the F sharp and A of the D chord. This makes it super smooth, one, because one of the notes stays exactly in the same position, and the other 2 notes are just neighbor tones. We just go down 1 step. So let's see how that would sound. You're worthy of it all. You're worthy of it all. Okay, from here, we have a 4 chord, which means C. Now, the C chord from here, in root position, is the closest way you can get to it. So that still works in this case. You're worthy of it all, for from you are all things. And then back to D. To you are all things. You deserve the glory. Now, if we do this in a first inversion position, we can find some other chords that can be a smooth transition from chord to chord. So, starting on first inversion in G, you're worthy of it all. Then we go down to D, but instead of going up to this root position, which is not terrible, but there's a second inversion D chord that we can use. So our D chord is D, F sharp, A. So we're going to use these 2 D and F sharp tones, but put the A on the bottom. So that leaves us with this G chord. This D will stay in the same spot, and these outer notes go down 1 step. Super smooth, right? You're worthy of it all. You're worthy of it all. We're going to use that same idea to go to the C chord. For from you are all things, and to you are all things. You deserve the glory. So, go and learn your inversions. Root position, first inversion, second inversion. And then, as you're playing chord progressions, whatever progression it may be, find the shortest distance to the next chord. All right, Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. If you like this stuff, subscribe right now.